Okay, so we will start now. Na? Let them come and join. So, good afternoon to all of you. And today I'm going to discuss a disease that is pancreatitis under the head of disease of pancreas. So, as per diseases of pancreas are concerned, we have discussed some other conditions also. One of them is diabetes mellitus also, because it is the affection of pancreas itself. So the next one is diseases under this head is pancreatitis. So as the name itself reveals that it might be the inflammation. So if we want to see the definition, so it refers to the inflammation of pancreas. That's simple as that. And it is characterized by digestive disturbances. So basically pancreatitis, it is concerned with the exocrine portion of the pancreas. As you all know, that pancreas had got two functions. It has got the endocrine function as well as exocrine function. So this pancreatitis, it is mainly the affection of those portions which is responsible for exocrine activity. So the pancreas performs the function of secreting some digestive enzyme, and that is exocrine function of the pancreas. So if that portion is being involved, then this pancreatitis happens. So sometimes it affects that endocrine portion of pancreas also. So, but basically, or chiefly, it is involvement of the exocrine portion of the gland. So it can be acute or recurrent or chronic. So acute means it is sudden onset. If sudden onset is there, that will be acute, and if it is chronic, then there will be the onset of disease will be in a longer duration, or it will persistent for a longer time, and then maybe the recurrent occurrence. So the recurrent and chronic is same, but the acute is, if it is sudden onset is there, then it is called as acute. So coming to the etiologies, so there are list of etiology for pancreatitis. So there is some list of drugs which when they are used excessively, then they can cause pancreatitis. So whatever the list has been given, you should not think that while using it will be leading to the pancreatitis. There must be the unjudicious or non-judicious use of these drugs or excessive use of these drugs. Then only it can cause pancreatitis, because we are using all of these drugs regularly, but it is not causing pancreatitis all the time. But when the non-judicious use of these drugs are there, that can lead to pancreatitis. So one of them is furosemide is also there, sulfonamides are there, tetracycline is there. So we are using it regularly, but still, no, when they are used excessively, when they are used non-judiciously, then they can cause the pancreatitis. So one of the etiology is excessive use of these drugs. Now the second etiology is excessive use of corticosteroids. That can also lead to pancreatitis. Even the obesity, if the animal is obese, that can be a factor for establishing pancreatitis. Then diet, which is high in fat. So high fat diet can lead to pancreatitis. Some infections are there, some like viral or mycoplasmal or parasitic infections, that can be the cause of pancreatitis. If there is obstruction of that secretion, no, like bile secretion, as I told you, this pancreatitis is related with the exocrine portion of the pancreas. So exocrine portion means there must be a duct, and through duct that secretion should come to a target site. So if that duct is obstructed, then that may lead to pancreatitis. So pancreas has also got a duct, and it is opening in the intestine, and there the enzymes produced by pancreas come through that duct to the intestine, and they perform their work there only. But if the duct is obstructed one way or another way, then that will lead to pancreatitis. So there are some causes of that obstruction of duct. That is the biliary calculi can obstruct the pancreatic duct. So you can imagine the biliary calculi will be in biliary duct, but it can cause the obstruction of pancreatic duct also, because anatomically they are sometimes situated in such a way that even the biliary calculi can compress the pancreatic duct. So sphincter spasm. So duct used to have a sphincter. Sometimes it remains closed. Sometimes when it is required, it gets open. But if abnormally, if they are getting closed all the time, that will cause obstruction of that duct. Even the edema of that pancreatic duct itself, or the edema of duodenum. If the duodenum is getting edematous, there will be swelling of that, and it will compress that duct. Or if the duct itself is becoming edematous, that then also the lumen will be compressed. So tumors, then parasites. So you might be knowing some pancreatic fluke. So if they are present or enlarged in that duct, they can cause the obstruction of that duct. Like tumors are also responsible for obstruction of these ducts. So partial or complete obstruction of that pancreatic duct is also one of the etiology for pancreatitis. So this was the list of the causes of pancreatitis or etiology of pancreatitis. Now coming to the pathogenesis, if these etiologies are present, whatever is it, whether it is obstruction of duct or it is diet that is rich in fat. So if that diet is being provided to the animal for a longer time, or the excessive use of drugs that we have already discussed, if any of the etiology is present, what they will cause the activation of digestive enzyme within the pancreatic. So when the pancreas is normal and these etiologies are not present, whatever the enzyme being produced by the pancreas, it comes through a duct in the intestine and they perform their digestive function in the intestinal lumen. But when these etiologies are present, and at that time those enzymes gets accumulated in the pancreatic tissue itself, and they used to perform their digestive function there itself in the pancreatic tissue. And when they will digest the pancreatic tissue or cells, it will lead to the inflammatory condition, and that is called as pancreatitis. So these digestive enzymes, these etaologies, basically they causes the activation of digestive enzyme in the gland itself. And when they are getting activated in the gland, they will cause auto digestion, or you can say the pancreatic digestion. And when the pancreatic digestion starts, the cell will be digested, and that will lead to pancreatitis. So whenever there is any abnormality occurs in a tissue or any organ, to cope up with that, the inflammation is a natural phenomena. So when the inflammation in pancreas occurs, that is called as pancreatitis. So that pancreatitis is established, and as and when there will be pancreatitis, means the inflammation of pancreas, there will be release of free radicals. We already have discussed what is free radicals, and in case of inflammatory condition, they are produced, and to neutralize that, sometimes we require antioxidants. So there will be, when the inflammation is there will be excessive production of free radicals in the pancreas, and that free radicals, they will damage the blood capillaries of pancreas itself. They will damage the blood capillaries of pancreas, especially the endothelial cell membrane. So endothelial cell membrane of the blood capillaries of pancreas will be damaged because of these free radicals, and when that endothelial membrane is damaged, the permeability of capillary will be changed, and that excessive fluid will come out from the circulation in the pancreatic tissue, and there will be edema of pancreas, and that's how it becomes edematous and swollen. So that's all about the pathogenesis of the pancreatitis. So is there any confusion? So you can clarify it right now. So are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Any confusion? If there is any
सर यहाँ से सर लास्ट 2 स्टेप सर फिर से बता दीजिए ना, इंडोथेलियल मेम्ब्रेन का।
हाँ, वो ये है कि पैंक्रियाटाइटिस हो गया ना, क्योंकि वहाँ डाइजेशन enzymes are digesting the pancreatic cell itself. So to prevent that, or to prevent that damage, there will be inflammation. Once inflammation is there, this is a natural phenomena. Whenever there is inflammation, the free radicals release. और वो फ्री रेडिकल्स क्या करते हैं, पेंक्रियाज भी तो एक ऑर्गन है, उसमें भी ब्लड सप्लाई है, और वो ब्लड सप्लाई की जो कैपिलरीज हैं, जो स्मॉल कैपिलरीज हैं, जो पेंक्रियाज को ब्लड सप्लाई करती हैं, उसकी टिश्यूज को ब्लड सप्लाई करती हैं, वो कैपिलरीज की एंडोथेलियल मेम्ब्रेन को ये फ्री रेडिकल्स डैमेज कर देते हैं, जो पेंक्रियाज में इन्फ्लामेशन की वजह से जनरेट हो रहे हैं. तो दीज फ्री रेडिकल्स विल डैमेज दोज एंडोथेलियल सेल्स ऑफ कैपिलरीज ऑफ पैंक्रियाज इटसेल्फ. तो पैंक्रियाज में जो ब्लड सप्लाई है, उसकी जो ब्लड कैपिलरीज हैं, उसकी एंडोथेलियल सेल को ये फ्री रेडिकल्स डैमेज करते हैं. और जैसे ही एंडोथेलियल सेल उस कैपिलरी की डैमेज हो जाएगी, तो उसका नॉर्मल परमिबिलिटी चेंज हो जाती है, उसकी परमिबिलिटी इंक्रीज हो जाती है. और जब किसी भी कैपिलरी की परमिएबिलिटी इंक्रीज हो जाएगी तो उसके अंदर जो कंटेंट है वो लीक होगा, वो बाहर के टिश्यू में आ जाएगा। तो जैसे ही उसमें से फ्लूइड बाहर निकलता है तो वो एडिमा कॉज करता है पैंक्रियाटिक टिश्यू का, तो उससे पैंक्रियाटिक एडिमा हो जाता है और उसी वजह से उसकी स्वेलिंग हो जाती है, साइज बड़ा हो जाता है पैंक्रियास। बात समझ में आई?
Yes, sir.
So now coming to the clinical findings, if it is acute condition, there will be sudden onset, there will be rise of temperature. It is a you can say the cardinal sign of inflammation. Animal will be depressed, anorexia and occasional diarrhea. Sometimes abdominal pain. In acute cases, there will be abdominal pain. So this pain is because of inflammation. So pain is also a cardinal sign of that inflammation. Then mild ascites may be there. There will be dehydration. As I told you, there will be capillary damage. Endothelial cell of capillaries will be damaged. The fluid will go inside the pancreatic tissue. There will be, because of that, there will be dehydration because fluid will be lost from there. So there will be dehydration, and if it is not treated, ultimately it will be shock and death within 5 to 8 days. So this is the acute condition of pancreatitis. Now coming to the chronic, there will be it will persist for longer time. So there will be the conditions like polydipsia, polyuria. It is related to, it is similar to the diabetes mellitus. So if the beta cells are damaged, so that condition, if that inflammation leads to damage of beta cells also, so that may lead to this condition of this hyperglycemia, and that type of condition may be present. That symptoms may be present at that time. So initially there will be polydipsia, polyuria, there will be condition loss of body weight or body condition. So these are similar to that of diabetes mellitus, and it is because of if the beta cells might be damaged. So there will be excessive accumulation of gas in the stomach, and if you check the feces, it will be greasy because for proper digestion of fat, the enzyme from pancreas is required. If it is not present or it is hampered, so there will be improper digestion of that. So greasy and photic diarrhea will be there. So these are the symptoms of chronic pancreatitis. Now, if we want to diagnose the condition, what will we do? So as I told you, if you have the history of excessive use of these drugs, if you have the history of using fat-rich diet or obesity of the animal, so these history is helpful in diagnosing that. Again, you can go for the clinical signs that have been already listed. If you are getting those clinical signs, you can think of pancreatitis. But only on the basis of that, we cannot go for the confirmatory diagnosis. So if you are getting such symptoms, we can go for some pancreatic function test. So generally in India or even in abroad also, they used to perform for longer time, it is being performed the amylase and lipase activity test. So if you are performing lipase and amylase activity test, and if you are getting it higher, so you cannot say that it is pancreatic damage or pancreatitis is there. You are to correlate it with history and clinical signs. So when clinical sign is present and along with that this amylase and lipase activity is high, then we can say that it may be a case of pancreatitis. Again, to further diagnose it, we can go for ultrasonography. We can see the enlargement of pancreas. Then radiography is also indicated. We can see if it is inflamed, it will be increased density and their granularity will be increased. Normally, there used to be very fine granulation in pancreas. If there is tumor or anything is there, you can visualize it by this imaging, ultrasonography or radiography. Then blood examination is also indicated if it is inflammation, and if it is of infectious in nature, then it will be leukocytosis will be there. There will be increased hematocrit value because dehydration is there. So these are the clinical findings. You can say the diagnostic findings for the for diagnosing the pancreatitis. So we are to follow this sequence step by step. Otherwise, we cannot clearly say that this is pancreatitis, because only the pancreatic function test is not indicative or clear-cut indication of pancreatitis, because it has been found in some dogs. They have performed some research when pancreas was already removed. Still, they have estimated the serum pancreatic enzymes. They have found it is in higher concentration. If pancreas is not present, still they are getting the pancreatic enzyme in in the serum, it means there are some other sources also which can release amylase and lipase. Though the chief source is pancreas, but there are some other sources also, and it has been established. So only on the basis of increasing this pancreatic enzyme activity, we cannot say that pancreas is hampered. You will have to correlate it with this the clinical findings, that is the clinical signs and whatever was there, that is loss of condition, the polydipsia, polyuria, the abdominal pain, then there will be constipation and diarrhea, the intermittent episodes of sometimes constipation, sometimes diarrhea, sometimes constipation, sometimes diarrhea. So this is the basic history generally we used to get from honor. They will say कि कुछ दिन तो नॉर्मल इसका रहता है फीसिस, कुछ दिन डायरिया होती है, तो कुछ 4-5 दिन ठीक रहता है, 4-5 दिन ऐसे. So we can think of pancreatic affection, and then further we can go for the diagnostic procedures, and we can conclude it in a confirmatory way. Now coming to the treatment. So as per treatment is concerned, as I told you, there are various causes. Etiology is a huge list is there. So you have to find the etiology, and then you will have to eliminate that. So first line of treatment is you have to eliminate the cause. When the cause is once eliminated, whether it is feed, if the feed is rich in fat, you have to eliminate that. If it is parasitic in origin, go for physical examination. If you are getting parasites, you deworm it. If it is infectious in nature, go for some other antibiotic or force. So you have to eliminate the cause. If there is excessive use of steroid, you will have to stop that. So eliminate the cause, and the second motto is keep the pancreas on rest. It needs to be put on rest for some time. So if you want to put the pancreas on rest, what will you do? You will have to maintain the fluid and electrolyte balance of the animal parenterally. So you put the animal on this fluid and electrolyte therapy, and along with that you supplement with the pancreatic enzyme externally. So you have to feed the pancreatic enzyme from outside. No, you will have to supplement the animal with pancreatic enzyme. Then the pancreas will be on rest. So while feeding the animal, you should supplement some. So they are in market, it is available. One tablet used to come in the human preparation that is called pancreatine. Generally, we use to that. It consists of amylase and lipase. So when we are feeding the animal, we feed pancreatine. So at that time, if we are feeding lipase or amylase from outside, the pancreas need not to be produce that, and it will be on rest. So that by that way we can keep the pancreas on rest. The second thing is if not also, if inflammation is there and our body is having a lot of pathogens, so we can go for a course of antibiotics, broad spectrum antibiotic therapy. And if abdominal pain is severe or animal is revealing abdominal pain, we can go for some analgesics. So this is the protocol generally we follow for pancreatitis. And if you are treating it, it will be cured. Definitely it will be cured. So that's all about pancreatitis. So anything else, you are welcome to ask. कुछ पूछना है
सर? सर जैसे हेपेटोसिस में हम फील करते थे बाहर से कि हेपेटोसिस हो रखा है इस कंडीशन में, तो पैनक्रियाटाइटिस में भी हम फील कर सकते हैं क्या बाहर से कि स्वेलिंग जैसा कुछ?
Yes, sure. If the abdominal organ is enlarged, you can palpate it, but it is very difficult to know from outside whether you are palpating liver or pancreas. So for that we have to go for, definitely there will be enlargement. I told you there will be pancreatic edema. So then when there will be edema, that size will increase. So when it is enlarged, you will palpate it. Definitely you will palpate it, but it is very difficult to know whether we are palpating liver or pancreas or something else. So some abnormality or enlargement may be palpable, but you have to confirm it by ultrasonography or X-radiography.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
सर ये पैंक्रियाटिन टैबलेट कितने दिन तक दे सकते हैं मैक्सिमम?
Pancreatine tablet condition based. If animals are the clinical signs are getting over, then you can stop it gradually. Okay. So once when they will be presented to you, there will be the various problems you have to tackle with that, and then you supplement it with this pancreatine tablet. And when the condition is getting better, you can stop it gradually, and you can see whether animal is able to sustain without this tablet or not. So gradually you can. So there is not hard and fast rule that how many days we will go. It depends on the condition of the animal.
Okay.
Anything else? So while fluid therapy, we should think of this one now. We should estimate the glucose, because I have told you that pancreatitis can be a cause of glycosuria, or you can say the diabetes mellitus if beta cells are damaged. So you estimate the glucose level and accordingly you go for fluid therapy. Otherwise, the glucose will remain higher in circulation, and you are going for again the dextrose or other fluid which are having dextrose. It will be dangerous for the animal. So you estimate glucose level at that time, and then you can go for fluid therapy. If glucose is high, just go for normal saline or electrolyte therapy. Don't supplement with the dextrose or anything. So we should take care of that. Again, if there is fever, you cannot go for dextrose supplementation, because in higher temperature we don't go for the energy source fluid therapy. So these things are to be kept in mind, and accordingly we maintain. But if the animal is not feeding anything, and then you will have to think of this one for energy source or anything, whatever you want to do. So this is the basic line of treatment for the pancreatitis. Elimination of cause is must. Then you will have to support with the fluid and electrolyte therapy, and then pancreatic enzyme supplementation. And according to cause, or if you are suspecting that animal might having some infection, if you are getting leukocytosis or other things in the blood picture, you can go for a antibiotic, broad spectrum antibiotic course. So I think it's
सर
clear.
जैसे फ्री रेडिकल बन रहा है तो उसमें ये दे सकते हैं.
You can support. That is supportive treatment. You can go for that. लेकिन ये free radicals बन रहे हैं because of inflammation. As and when this inflammation will suppress, it can be already cured. So you can go for that. Is that antioxidant therapy nowadays has become a you can say the universal supplementary therapy or supportive therapy. Anywhere, even mastitis you can add, metritis you can add, even here you can add, anywhere you can add that if you are thinking of that. So that is nowadays the concept has come to add antioxidant. You can go for that.
Okay, thank you.
So knowing the pathogenesis, the idea of knowing the pathogenesis is, if we will know the pathogenesis, we can formulate our own treatment. No, if radicals are there, we can think of antioxidants. If something is so, that is why pathogenesis is being taught. So anything else? Snapshot ले लेना attendance की भाई.
Okay sir.
भेज देना. और कुछ है तो बता सकते हैं.
सर हेलो. सर लास्ट क्लास में आपने डायबिटीज में जो ट्रीटमेंट प्रोटोकॉल बताया था, तो उसमें सर जो इंसुलिन हम लोग प्रिस्क्राइब करते हैं, उसका मोड ऑफ एक्शन एक लॉन्ग एक्टिंग होता है, एक शॉर्ट एक्टिंग होता है.
Actually it is there and they have been tried. So we don't go for the long acting nowadays. It is not useful. You just go for the short acting insulin, that is useful, and that is being regularly used. So long acting is not useful. It is mentioned in some books, but nowadays we are not using it. You just go for the short acting and twice a day at the rate of 0.25 units per kg body weight. That is sufficient for the treatment. No one is using it nowadays, but it is being mentioned. We start with the long acting and then we shift to the short acting, but it is not the line of treatment nowadays. It is from older books. So don't think of that. You just go for this one.
Okay, sir. So in fat cow syndrome also we use long acting protamine zinc insulin.
In fact,
it had been written in the books.
No, it has been written. No, long acting protamine zinc. It is used in case of fat cow syndrome, but not in diabetes mellitus.
But in ketosis.
Yeah, in ketosis. Yeah.
We use short acting.
No, that is written in the books, but nobody is using it in the treatment. No, short acting or long acting. Sometimes the ketosis, yes, that fat cow syndrome is sometimes it is somewhat a chronic type of symptom. No, you cannot. But the ketosis can be cured instantly. So in short acting and long acting, the thing is that you should make whether the fat will be mobilized slowly. So in fat cow syndrome, they used to use that long acting this one. Protamine zinc. But in case of ketosis, they are using short acting. The basis is which metabolite will be mobilized how fast. So fat is used to be mobilized slowly if it is deposited in the liver. So we can go for a long acting, and if it is ketosis like things are there, it can be mobilized suddenly, at an instant. So short acting is sufficient. But there were some protocols they used to start with in diabetes mellitus also. They used to start with long acting and then they used to shift to the short acting. But nowadays it is not used. You can go for this one and twice a day, and this is only that is used in case of in gout nowadays.
Okay, sir.
Anything else? और कुछ है?
No, sir.
ठीक है फिर. हाँ, थैंक यू.
Thank you,
See you
sir.
in the next class.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay.